One of the things that we're asked a lot is, I think, is like a very good question, because they ask, how do we start a family house? And really, there is no way to say you have to start a family house this way. But we suggest that like a group of people meet together and see like what kind of issues they want to tackle in the community as a group, as a community, and see how they can mobilize. Like we looked at Salveet, and Salveet, they decided that they wanted to tackle grief, and that was a big selling point for them, for themselves, to start a family house. For Kujarabik, it was stronger families. For Gangsolchak, it was safer house aspect. It's the easiest thing to say is to get together and see what your issues are in your community. We cannot say do this, because once you start a discussion in your community, because every community has their own issues, individual issues, and it's best to they get together and decide amongst themselves to say, okay, we got this. We are community members, and we can change things by getting together and see what happens next. There's already a few family houses that have started. Who can we call? Who are the resource people? Do we have local reps that we can talk to? Is there funding out there? If there is funding out there, how do we get it? Who do we talk to about filling out forms? There's a lot of things, but at the same time, it's baby steps. It's start with meeting maybe your mayor, maybe your local health board person, maybe your local KRG person, maybe your local Makavik rep. There's a lot of people in town that can help, and the people that are in your community are your resource people.
I think and then once you kind of reached out to different people and started imagining as a group like what your kind of vision is, even if it's a bit blurry, then maybe a next step can be to have like a community talk show or a community event, like a workshop where it can be a picnic where people are invited, and there can be different activities, and then questions to them about what their priorities are, or where they would want it to be, or what kind of activities they would want to have, so that people can right away feel involved. They can be more like a door-to-door approach, or organization to organization, or just asking people on the streets. It's just involving as many people as possible and communicating as much as possible to get input.
And it doesn't always have to be like a negative. It doesn't always have to be grief or children and youth protection. It could be a place to meet daily for elders or pregnant ladies, or it can be anything that you decide it wants to be.
And so we also noticed that different communities will have different strengths, or they're at different spaces in their resources. And so we've been trying to develop tools that would help each community determine where they're at in the different steps of the process, and then to guide in what are the next steps. So we're going to be accompanying the videos with the tools so that people can have an idea, be guided a bit on where to move forward. And I think in the first components, you can get funding from different organizations, and then you can get more stable funding through, for example, Ungaluk is one possibility. You can see with, like you're saying, KRG and Makivik, right? There's also a lot of funding that's available at the government level that we don't always know about, we can have access to. And then you decide whether you want to become a non-for-profit organization. And once you are a non-for-profit organization, the health board has other types of funding for organizations that are non-for-profit. And that requires different steps that we'll also have kind of listed out in different documents that we have access to. And then that's it. Once you become an NGO, there are also like some responsibilities or specific steps that you need to take, and that will also have kind of listed out in the documents.
Like board training is very important. If you decide to take this step, then you have to find out who's going to do the board training, who's going to be involved in that. Is it the health board, or is everybody going to be involved in the whole training together? Is it going to be in your community? Is it going to be at where the health board is? There's a lot of logistics as well that come with everything. Like I said, as a community member, you discuss with your colleagues, with your friends, with your family, what priorities you have, and you just start from there.